Intensive farming is the type of farming involving either large amount of financial or labor investment or a high application of pesticides on a small area. This also causes soil erosion.
There is now a European Council directive on broiler welfare, but this does not go far enough in protecting broiler chickens. From the moment they are hatched, the chicks are whisked along a series of conveyor belts as they are bounced, tumbled, sorted and crated for the journey to the farm. Here, they are packed into huge, windowless sheds, which can hold 30 to 40,000 chickens. As the days go by and the birds grow bigger, there's increasingly less space per chicken. As the birds grow, conditions deteriorate, and the sheds become ever more crowded until the floor becomes a solid mass of chickens competing to reach the food and water. So, part of the answers begins to emerge. Producers can save space and so cut costs by cramming the birds in with little concern for their welfare. Each year, more than 800 million broilers are reared in the UK and 19 million are reared in the Republic of Ireland. The annual figure for the EU as a whole is nearly 6 billion. Most are factory farmed like this. The worst welfare problems arise from the industry's use of selective breeding to produce meat-heavy chickens. The birds are pushed to reach their slaughter weight in just 40 days, which is twice as fast as 30 years ago. Genetic selection for the purpose of faster growing, more meat and more profit. However, the bird's legs, heart and lungs fail to keep pace with the rapidly growing body. The legs often buckle under the strain of supporting the overgrown body. As a result, each year, millions of broilers suffer from painful, sometimes crippling, leg disorders. Some die of starvation and dehydration as they simply cannot reach the food and water ponds. The capacity of the heart, too, is outstripped by the overdeveloped body, leading to millions of broilers dying each year from heart failure. The speed at which broilers grow can be seen by comparing the growth rate of the normal-sized egg-laying hen on the left with that of the broiler chick on the right. The directive fails to address the chronic hunger endured by the breeding birds, the parents and grandparents of the meat chicks. These birds are semi-starved in order to keep them alive long enough to breed. Conditions are so bad in the broiler sheds that each day in the European Union around 500,000 chickens die of a variety of causes. These wretched creatures can't even survive until the slaughter age of just 40 days. Many birds just die and decompose in the litter, which is disposed of at the end of the cycle. Once they are ready for slaughter, gangs of catchers descend on the sheds. They grab several birds in each hand. Then they stuff them into crates, ready for the journey to slaughter. Many birds suffer dislocated hips during this brutal process. The journey to slaughter is horrific. Across the European Union, millions of chickens die each year en route to the slaughterhouse. Once at the slaughterhouse, the birds are hung upside down from metal shackles. A moving line then takes them to the electrified water bath to be stunned. From there, it's onto the automatic neck cutter. Due to inefficient stunning or failure to cut the correct blood vessels, some chickens regain consciousness as they bleed to death. Some are still alive as they are plunged into the scalding tank designed to loosen feathers prior to plucking. Finally, the birds are whisked through a series of processes from which they emerge ready for the
causes they want to
for the people. The second cause is they push to grow a certain type of crops. And the third cause is trying to produce the most product in a small area.
Okay, the effects of intensive farming is animal manure producing nitrogen getting into the atmosphere. The second one is the soil erosion gets greater into the dirt. And the third one is your soil quality goes down.
Alright, the solutions are more land for the animals, crop rotation, and disposal of the animal feces properly.
Here in the States, I've already seen how they do intensive farming on a huge scale.
In the next 40 years, we'll have 9 billion people on this planet. We have to make as much food as we've made since the beginning of time.
The 32,000 cows which produce more than 2 million pints of milk every day. 25 barns, most of them a quarter of a mile long, are spread over a 17,000-acre site. How can you possibly look after 32,000 cows? I mean, that's a lot of animals to look after, isn't it?
Yes, we have 32,000 cows, but every cow is an individual. In a computer record, we know everything about that cow, when she had a calf, when she had a cough, whatever. These cows are under 24-hour observation. We have 450 workers that are looking after their welfare along with our veterinarians. And so we invite the public to come in, see what we do, measure us against, do they think we're taking care of our cows?
A farm of this size must have a big environmental impact.
Well, you have the potential to have an environmental impact, but we think we've taken that off the page. We collect 100% of our manure every day in huge vacuum cleaners. That all goes to anaerobic digesters, and it creates a renewable energy source. So 100% of our power is poo power. A farm this size can produce enough electricity to power 8,000 homes. In addition, it's a 58% methane gas. We can scrub that, make it 100% methane. Now that's natural gas, and we'll run all of our trucks off of compressed natural gas.
Do you think this is industrial farming that is very much a factory for the cows? Are they prisoners of their own labour?
Well, certainly we don't view it that way. In terms of our love of dairying and our love of farming and our family involvement, to us, it's just a family farm, and we happen to grow a little larger than the guy down the road.
A company which own 12,000 sows and produce 140,000 pigs for slaughter every year. Sales total $25 million, or £16 million. Big, big business in anybody's money.
These sows are in 60 centimeter wide stalls. For about 8 to 10 weeks, they'll be in this barn. And we do the artificial insemination in the breeding barn. They're in there for about 6 to 7 weeks, and then they come in here for about 8 to 9 weeks. And so they just keep moving barn to barn.
And so they stay in these stalls all their lives, so they can never turn around?
They walk out and turn around when they go to the next place.